I'm going to show you the quickest and easiest way I know to make cinnamon rolls. Very simple ingredients. So the first thing you need is 11 ounces or about 325 milliliters of cold milk. So I use whole milk, which is like whole milk, which is 325% milk fat. And then to that we add 4 tablespoons of melted butter, so it could be salted butter is fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to warm this up in the microwave for about 1 to 2 minutes. So I'm going to go put that in the microwave. Okay, so that was about 1.5 minutes on high in the microwave. We want a warm environment for our yeast to bloom, or they call it proofing, which means it will allow the yeast to bloom and the yeast will act to ferment the dough that we're going to bake with. Okay, so we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt and then 1.25 teaspoon of dry active yeast. I just use the one from Bob's Red Mill, dry active yeast. You can just use any brand. Then we're just going to, that's the microwave. Okay, so we're just gonna give this a quick whisk. And just to make sure that it's all mixed in there. And then to that, we are going to add the sugar. And then 1 egg yolk. Okay, I'm just going to whisk that in. And about 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Finally, we're going to add flour. 3 cups of flour, and it could be just all-purpose flour. And the measurement doesn't have to be exact, so it's just loosely packed. And I just pour it onto the side of the bowl so it doesn't splash all over. So that's 1 cup. Two. 3. Okay. And then all we have to do is give it a gentle stir. So I just use the back of my spatula and just stir it around and just be a little bit patient because it will incorporate very easily. We don't have to get our hands dirty, so this is the best method I found. I will also post the written recipe in the description below the video. The next step is simply to let it sit there and proof. So what will happen is that the yeast is going to feed on the sugar with the warm liquid, and it's going to bloom and it's going to ferment the dough, leaving just it produces gas, and thereby it will help make the flour rise. And that's what we want before we bake. So all I do at this point is you can cover it with a saran wrap, or I like to use my, so I just put that over and keep it in a warm place that's not very drafty. So I put it in my oven and just turn on the oven light, and I just leave that. So with this method, you can leave it in the oven proofing for about 2.5 to 3 hours, and then you're ready to bake with it. If you have the time, you can leave it longer, so you can proof it for, between 3 to 8 hours, even almost 24 hours. That's okay too. It will rise even more. So if you're in a hurry, you can start baking after 3 hours of proofing. So we're gonna do that, and I'll come back and show you how to bake with it. Okay. So while we're waiting for the dough to proof in the oven, and we can go ahead and make the cinnamon sugar.
Oh.
So we'll need 1/3 of a cup of white sugar, and some cinnamon. Hold on. Whatever.
You go, girl.
Stop. Okay. Cinnamon. So we're going to use 1 heaping teaspoon of cinnamon. Here. And that's it. And we'll just mix it together. That's how we make this cinnamon sugar. So we will use this later. Set it aside. Next thing we want to make is the glaze. Now the traditional glaze that you see on every cinnamon bun that you buy in the store is essentially made up of 2 cups of icing sugar and with about 3 or 4 tablespoons of milk. Now I just find that's way too sweet, so what I did with my cinnamon rolls was that I use 1/2 cup of icing sugar, 5 tablespoons of milk, and then I use a cup of mascarpone cheese, and then you just mix it all together or whip it out, and you have your glaze. It's the next morning, so the dough mixture has been sitting, resting, or proofing for overnight. But again, you can just leave it there between 2.5 hours to 24 hours and let it rise. So when I don't have much time, I just wait for 2.5 hours. But this time I just left it overnight. And so we take our spatula and try to get it out of the bowl. You need a clean, cool surface. If you don't have a granite counter, you can just use parchment paper on any counter, or just cut out a big piece and then you can roll on that. So I've done that too. But today I'm here, so some flour. And after you roll it out, we are going to use our cinnamon sugar mixture that we made last night. Just spread it on. Use our dough scraper to help you along if it's sticky. And then you just roll it. This part, you just cut off about the thickness that you like. So maybe about an inch, 1.5 inches. So I have have my oven heating at 350. Now normally I would grease my baking pan. This time I'm going to use parchment paper because I don't want to. I like to try different things for each recipe. So, what? There you are. I don't know if you can see this. And in the oven it goes for half an hour or 35 minutes at 350. And I'll show you what it looks like after. Hello. Hi, Linda. I'm watching my cinnamon fun thing.
Oh.
I have no patience.
No, I know. You never do. Instant gratification.
Aww. Aww. Okay, Bam Bam, do you think it's ready? No? Yes? No?
Smells good.
Okay. Cinnamon roll has been in the oven for 30 minutes at 350, so we're ready to take them out.
Yay!
Okay, ready, Bam Bam? It's hot. Be careful. Yummy. It turned out perfectly.
Nom, nom, nom.
Hey! Careful, Bam Bam.
Oh,
Maybe I should turn off the oven.
yeah, maybe. Okay then.
There. So now I'm going to frost it. Maybe I should wait until it cools a bit, but I have no such patience, so we're gonna put the glaze on and then we can eat it. Okay, we're going to frost our cinnamon roll. Okay, there you have it.
Mmm.
I'll take it clean. Really sticky. Okay.
Who's that?
Yummy. It's yours.
Mmm, yummy. Thank you.
Okay.
All good?
Yep. Mmm.